Genesis 7, verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the second month and the 17th day of the month, on that day, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of heaven were opened. On that day. What day was that? In our English calendar, that's February 17th. There's a specific day when something happened in history. And on that day, the great fountains of the deep burst forth. They gushed. They gushed forth. And then there was a response that took place. After the fountains of the deep gushed forth, then heaven opened. The next verse says, and it rained 40 days and 40 nights. And the next verse, it talks about Noah and his family on the ark. And the next verse, and the next verse, and the next verse, we see the story. But we often forget how it started in the first place. It started because something deep inside the earth had to break open, and then heaven opened. What if God is waiting for the depths of your heart to open up so that He can open up? What if first the natural, then the spiritual? What if God is waiting on the depths of your heart, the fountains of the deep? You know, the fountains were there all along. They were like volcanoes there all along. They had been there for hundreds and 1,000 years. They had been there, waiting for a moment for heaven to touch earth. And in order for that to happen, they had to respond. And when they did, God responded. See, there's something about being broken before the Lord that prepares us for revival. I'm not talking about just crying brokenness. I'm talking about brokenness that says, I'm open to whatever God wants to do. I'm available to whatever. And if that means I'm supposed to snot and teary and intercede on behalf of lost souls, absolutely. I'm open to that. If that means I need to laugh for a half an hour over the lies over my life, then, and that's what the Spirit of God is doing, then I'm open to that. If that means I have to come forth for prayer for the 40th time to get it finally, then that means I'm open to that. We have to be open. The great depths of our heart have to be open so that the heavens above open and God reigns, and this rain and this water meets each other, and all of a sudden there's a flood. There's a flood that takes place when this and this collide, and they work in tandem with one another. It wasn't working opposite. They work together. And the floodgates of the sky opened. I know that some of you have been praying for years for something. You're waiting on the floodgates of the sky to open. But what if God's waiting for you to open? What if God is waiting for you to get in the move of the Spirit and allow Him to move you and gush forth something out of your heart? Out of your belly will flow rivers of living water. You got to let Him go. You got to let it gush forth. You got to let it bubble up. You can't resist it. You can't put a cap on it. You can't. No. This is making me uncomfortable. I've never done it this way before. I've never seen it done this way before. You've got to be open to the flow of heaven. Just tell yourself that right now. Just put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your belly and just say, I want to be open to a move of the Spirit. I want the floodgates of the depths of my soul to be open up.